Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, October 7th, and my kids are home in the other room playing games. If you hear anything, it's probably them, but hopefully they'll be fairly quiet. I am just here to share my stitching this week. Nothing too exciting has happened otherwise. It was a fairly good stitchy week. I was able to get all of the Enchanted Stitching challenges completed at the highest level, which was really exciting. It seems like that's going to be a really fun goal to meet on each piece to get to the 250 stitch level, because you can see a decent chunk of progress. Feels like 50 stitches isn't quite enough, and so 250 is sometimes a stretch to try to hit it, but it's on a normal week when there's not a lot of crazy stuff going on. I think it's reasonable to try to aim for that at least. And so this week I was able to do it, and I had one day left over to work on Villa Mirabilia, so I'm not really sure what order I should go in, but since Villa Mirabilia is sitting out here right now, maybe I should just share that first. This is what she looks like. She's big and beautiful, and I want to finish this pot this calendar year, ideally. And I only worked on this one day this week, yesterday, but I'm really happy with how far it came in just that one day. And so this is what she looked like last time. And I'll just show maybe a close-up of the bush so you can compare. This is where the bush is now. And I'm pretty happy with that because I finished out this blended color throughout there's no more of this symbol up here. That's all finished. And I did just a little bit of this, and then I didn't have any more time. But what this allows me to do is it allows me to fill in a lot. So this color is also all through here, which I love on Mirabilia's. There's something cool about filling in the areas with solid stitching when there's like a chunk of open space and then you slowly fill it in. I don't know, it's just really cool. This will have 2 or 3 more colors, like the edge of this. It'll look like that in here. And then there's some dark and some more of this medium dark here. And then the pot is like starting to have places where I could start stitching pot colors. So I'm really excited. This kind of set a nice framework for a lot of different areas. So this is how far I got to on just one day this week. And so what I'm planning to do, since this is like a focus for a finish in 2019, I would like to, if possible, choose it for a challenge, along with my temperature pieces and my travel stitching and any other like family pieces that will happen to come up that week. I want to try to see if any of those would fit into a challenge, first and foremost. And if they don't, I'll try to, certain things I'll try to make fit other ways. This one will be my go-to whenever my challenges are finished. No matter what I pick, I'll come to this at the end of the week with whatever stitching time I have left, just like I did this week. And this week was a short week for challenges because I started on Tuesday. And I picked all new projects for my challenges. Not like, I didn't have any, not new, but separate, regular projects for my challenges. Whereas like the week before I used my travel stitching for one of them. And this week coming up, I'm going to use travel stitching for one too. So if I should have extra time this week since I'm doing one of them will be a travel stitching, but I am choosing 2 full coverage pieces as well this week, so we'll see. But hopefully I'll have some extra time and I can do some more on that. So that will be my goal. So hopefully you'll see this most weeks from here on out and see that little pot coming together. It's exciting to see that take shape. So there's that one, and then I can talk about the pieces I did for the challenge. And these are not in the order of the challenges, and you don't have to do the challenges in any specific order. So I just kind of picked the ones I wanted to work on first, and then kind of figured it out from there. So the first one I really wanted to work on was the Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needleworks. And I am stitching this with DMC. It calls for either a Veriswa or DMC or Dinky dies. So you can choose any of those and they have the conversion in the pattern, which is really nice. So I'm using the called for fabric, which is Lakeside Linen's Bisque, I believe, 32 count linen. But I am using the DMC. And this is what that looked like last time. And here it is now. So this is 250-ish stitches. I usually go until I finish a section or finish a thread. So this is, I don't remember what they were specifically, but maybe 260 or 253 or, you know, like something like that. But this is one challenge complete, which is really cool. I covered a lot of ground with 250 stitches. So what I'm excited to see is that one more, I was about here before, so one more challenge could finish the band, which is my goal on this piece for this year. And if I pull out again after that, I can do specialty stitches, which would be even more fun. So that actually was really nice to have a challenge to aim for, because I know on this one, especially in the cross stitch bands, I get bored. And so it's nice to, okay, keep going, I can do this, let's go, let's get to my goal, you know, and then I see a nicer chunk of progress in one like rotation on this than I might normally have. So that was really nice. Same with a lot of these other pieces. So far I think this is going to work really well for me, at least on normal weeks. So then I think I pulled out Touchdown after that, and this was for the other one was for repetitive design, which it's a repetitive design, so that was really appropriate. The other one I was thinking of that I could have used for repetitive design was my temperature quilt. Because it's the same thing over and over. It's totally repetitive. But I didn't think about that until I was almost done with this challenge. I was like, oh, that would have been smart. So that's what makes me think in the future, if I have something that I could use a temperature piece for, or my travel stitching, you know, those could be good things to use for the challenges, so that so then the other pieces that I pick can have more time available, or my Mirabilia can have more love. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of going forward. So anyways, Touchdown. I'm doing my color conversion to make it John Elway and Charles Woodson of the 90s Denver Broncos and Oakland Raiders. This is what it looked like before, and here it is now with it's washed out again. Last week had awesome color for the blue, the fabric. I did 250-ish stitches in his pants. I was originally, last time I worked on this, kind of assuming I would fill in his jersey with the lighter shades of gray that will finish it, and then I could backstitch. But since this challenge was a specific color, and I really wanted to work on this week, I figured I could make this work for the color white, and did a lot of white stitches. And, wow, there we go, that's better, a little bit. It's nice to get some of the white finished, at least, you know, there's going to be a lot of it. He's got a lot of pants, so that's good. I got that, you know, worked on for my son. It wasn't on the exact day I usually work on it, but it was that week, and I think going forward it'll probably be like that in the future. Then I worked back and forth on Simpsons, which is something I'm scared of. The challenge for stitch on something that scares you, because I'm scared my husband will find out I'm working on it because it's a surprise. And because of that, because I'm scared he'll find out, I ended up stitching on this a little bit, putting it away when he was around, stitching on it another time. And so I worked on this like 2 or 3 different times with working on other pieces in between. So I'll show this one first. I did Cherry Kitten. This is an Artisy pattern, and I'm doing a no background version. They sell both versions on the site. This is the full coverage version, which stitches those clouds. But I was gifted this beautiful pull stitches fabric. I'm dropping things over there. and thought it would be perfect for this pattern. So with the no background version, and then the fabric can be the clouds instead. So this is what that looked like last time. And here's the cute kitty now. And this was, again, 250-ish stitches on this little guy. So here's his pretty fabric. And so I finished the thread that was on my needle, and then I decided I wanted to start here and kind of fill this in more. And so I picked a color and did it until my thread ran out. So this color I think is also over here a little bit. And then I kept picking colors which were mostly over here until my thread ran out on each color. So there's several colors. Represented a lot more confetti in the ears, but I kind of wanted to get the top done first. So now that his facial structure was already in place with all the black stitching, so now I'm kind of starting to fill it in a little bit. So there was a challenge this week that I could have worked on this again, which was very tempting, but there's another piece that the challenge worked for that I haven't touched yet this year that I figured was a higher priority to try to get some attention on that one. So that one got chosen instead. But it's kind of fun to have this, you know, to be able to choose from all of my projects and pick the ones that are either fit the best, or I'm in the mood for, or etc. I don't know. It's been fun. So my last challenge piece of regular stitching was my Simpsons that I bought on Etsy, not Etsy, eBay, which is a seller I don't even think is around anymore, and recharted because the print copy I received was abominable. So this is my recharted version of this pattern. It's their design. I couldn't find anything comparable more recently to purchase instead, so I just recharted it myself. It's originally full coverage, but I'm not stitching this part, all the white outside, and I'm not stitching the white in here because my fabric is white. So this is slightly, has a slight tones with like grays and light blue, beige and light blue to make it something, but the background in here and this outside is just white. So I'm not stitching that, which makes this no longer full coverage. But this is what that looked like before. This is on 40 count white vertical even weave, 1/2 half stitches. Here it is now. There, you can see that blue really well right there on Marge. So I stitched one strand of yellow, which I started here and just filled in her face, and then started over on her hands until the yellow ran out. And then I worked on one strand of blue in her hair until that ran out, and that was just over, I think it was 503 half stitches, which I needed 500 to make 250 full cross, or the equivalent. So she needs some eyeballs, some pupils in there. So that's kind of probably my goal next time, is to give her a little bit more structure in her face. But I thought that was good progress, and again, more progress than I probably would have made on it if left to my own devices, without aiming for that 500 stitch goal. I probably would have done one strand of color and put it away, and this time I did 2. So I think I'll make better progress on things doing it this way. So that's kind of fun. I'll show you my temperature pieces now, and then we'll go into the stuff for next week, or this coming week. Again, not cut up, but progress has been made. So this is the mock-up of Temperature Quilt. I worked on this a lot yesterday during the Broncos' first win of the season. We've had a rough start of good play, poor outcomes up until this point. So we finally won a game. But during the game, this week and last week, I was able to stitch on these pieces. And so this is what that looked like before. And here it is now. So September is, all the highs except for that one are finished, and then this color was also in some lows, so I finished out the lows before my thread ran out. I think there's probably some more of that color in here, but I ran out of thread, and by then the game was over and it was time to move on with life. So, oh, and I have this one in October started because that was that color, and it was also over here. So It did warm up a little bit this past week. Yesterday may have been in the low 90s. So it's kind of still hinting at summer. I don't want summer to go away. But it's, like down here it was highs of 60s. So it's fall is coming. Definitely not what I've heard on some of you Flosstubes, like in Montana and places that have had snow already. It's not that cold. But there have been some evenings where it's dropped into the 40s, which has been a really long time since that's happened. So that's kind of fun. The crisp evenings, even when it warms up in the day, that when the evenings get crisp, that's the key for fall here in Southern California. So, and here is my temperature balloons. Just a little bit of progress on this one. Here's what that looked like last time. And here it is now. This row is not quite done, but this color was also down here in the next row, so I did those as well. So today is another day for this, so depending on what I decide to work on today, I might pull this out. Mondays or video days are kind of hard to find time for stitching because there's extra stuff happening for making a video, like editing. But we shall see. So those are my temperature pieces, and my travel piece, maybe I'll share first because I'm also using it for a challenge this week. So this week was a little trickier for me because some of the challenges had to do with aspects of the movie I didn't know, but thankfully other people didn't know either and asked questions, and so I could kind of figure out from comments and things what to do. So, let's see, wrong one. Let's go back to week 2. So the one this is going to work for is something that you got excited about even before you knew everything about it. And they said, hint, think mystery cells, mystery stitch-alongs, charts that are released in parts and you don't know what the whole thing's going to look like until the end. So I chose my tea and cakes, which was a mystery cell. At the beginning. I can't remember if I started it before it was finished or not, but I did get excited about it before it was all done because I love tea and I love cake. Although preferably, I'm not as much into cakes, usually too much frosting. With my tea, I love scones. So if this was tea and scones, I'd be a lot better, a lot happier. Or muffins or something like that. But I thought it was still cute. And this is what it looked like last time. And here it is now. So, I believe I had just started this block and already had the border done. So, I got this 100% finished, stitched. Nope, it's just a hole. Just a little bit bigger hole. This is all stitched 100%. You can see all my little fractionals in there that I have added. I have changed this so that the stitching includes quarter stitches, half stitches, 3/4 stitches, not half really, but quarter and 3/4 stitches in order for make the back stitching be filled out instead of sticking out like the original called for. So now I can backstitch that and move on to the next one. And I will probably actually backstitch this and then do the last of the border and then do that one. So I may not get this one done next week because of doing the border and stuff. So, but we'll see. This one we'll get 250 stitches. So I could either count the backstitching and divide by 2, which I'm not thrilled about, or just do the backstitching and then count the rest of it. That's just a stitching, and I think I might do that because I do work on this every day, except for probably not today. Well, maybe a little bit. There might be a one time today I could work on a little bit. So I'll get started on the backstitching, but when I'm done backstitching, starting in on the border, I'll count the actual full crosses because I think that'll just be easier for everybody. So that's that one. So I know for sure I'll get time on that one, and so it'll count towards the challenge. And then my other ones, the first challenge they suggested was he finds holiday trees or doors or something, and he picks the Christmas one, but there's all the different holidays available, and so you could choose which door you want to open and choose a project based on your choice. I only have 2 holidays represented in my stitching. I don't do a lot of holiday stitching. So I have Lady of the Flag that would work for Independence Day, but I've already gotten to a nice stopping point on her. And I also have my full coverage Nativity, which I got to a good stopping point during Arbitrary August to get to page finish. So my last holiday piece is the Heirloom Nativity Sampler by the Victoria Sampler. So this is what that looks like. And my goal for this year, I decided I want to at least finish this shepherd scene. And since I have all of these backstitched trees finished already on each side, it'll be just cross-stitching in here, so it'll be really easy to count. So that'll be my goal for this week, is to get at least 250 stitches on the shepherds. So here's what that looks like right now. I'm doing this, stitching it completely from the top down. So the angels are finished, and the white work right there is finished, and the sweet angels sing on Christmas night, and some specialty stitches, and then now I'm on the shepherd band. So this is some sort of gray. I can't remember which kind of gray, but it's MCG Textiles gray, 32 count linen. And dove gray maybe? That sounds like something else, another kind of linen. It's a gray. It's one I had to acquire on eBay because they don't actually make it anywhere anymore. So there's that one. And we'll see how far I get on that. I don't know if I got a good full shot of that, so just to make sure. I'd like to get that little scene done, so we'll see how much 250 stitches, how far that gets me. And maybe with this theme of the movie, maybe there'll be another prompt later that has to do with Christmas that I could work on that some more. And then this week is going to be my week to work on Quick Stitch Iris, because I'd like to work on that around the 11th, and so the 11th is Friday, I think, and so this one worked for, which prompt did I make it work for? Oh yeah, something new. I guess Jack, the challenges, in case anybody didn't hear me last week, are based in this Enchanted Stitching group. They're all Disney themed, and the month of October will all be centered around the Nightmare Before Christmas. So when I say Jack, I'm referring to the main character in that movie. And so he wanted to try something new by going and trying Christmas. And so they said, work on something that was something new for you. And you're all looking at this like it's full coverage, that's not new. But this is actually my first Heaven and Earth design. So when I bought it and started it in probably 2006, it was new. My first Heaven and Earth designs ever. And then I restarted it a year or two ago. Same cut of fabric, but I was stitching it 2/1 full cross on 25 count. And since I discovered Flosstube, I realized a lot of people enjoy 1/1 on 25 count, and I thought, well, you know what, maybe that's why I don't like it, because I think it's probably too thick. And so I restarted it 1/1, and I love it. So this is also my first project, 1/1 on 25 count. So 2 firsts on this one. And this is where I'm at with this. So 250 stitches. The rest of this diagonal might be a little bit more than that, but we will see how far I get. And that'd be cool to finish the diagonal, but I guess we'll see. So that's going to be one of the challenges. And then there's one more that is ingredients. I guess Sally likes to cook, so sometimes she makes yummy things for Jack, and sometimes she makes deadly, sinister things for the bad guys. And so they said, who are you going to cook for? And what ingredient are you going to use from one of your projects? So this is the one that Cherry Kitten could have worked for, because I could make Jack a cherry pie. But I also have wanted to work on this again this year. My grapes piece by Golden Kite. So I'm going to make Jack a fruit salad. I'm not going to do anything sinister. I'm going to use these grapes and peaches and plums and raspberries to make Jack a yummy fruit salad. So I was wanting to work on this a little bit more and get at least a column finish. So this is a good opportunity to work towards that. So here's where this is now, and I just love it. It's so stunning. So this is definitely, yeah, I wasn't sure how much. I definitely have less than 250 left in this column. So I'll finish this column and then start in on this column to get my 250 stitches. Love it! The colors in this are just so pretty. This is 2/1 on 18 count oatmeal fiddler's cloth. This is the original package back in the day. And so that's that one. And I'll do that for one of the challenges as well. So 2 of these are full coverage with a decent amount of confetti. So that's why I'm definitely wanted to make my travel stitching work for at least one of the challenges. So to make sure I have time. But I hope I'll also have time to get to Villa Mirabilia again at the end of the week. So we shall see how that goes. And I think that's everything I wanted to share. But last but not least, I wanted to remind you of the English Cottage Sampler Kit that I'm giving away because I reached 6,000 subscribers, and because last episode was my 100th episode, which is really cool. I have more videos in my channel, but there's 100 like update episodes. I also have playlists of like demo videos and whip parades and things like that. So those don't count as on the numbered scale. But this is being given away on my last video, so you can go back to episode 100 and find out if you want to enter to win this. I'll keep it open until next week. Next Monday, my husband's supposed to take the day off on Monday, so I probably won't film until Tuesday. So you have until October 15th to enter the giveaway. And there's been a lot of people interested, which is actually kind of surprising because Teresa Wensler is not a joke. Her projects are can be complicated and intimidating, even though it's basic stitches for the most part. She does have some specialty stitches. She has a lot of blends, a lot of backstitching. But there's already over 80 of you interested, so which was really cool. I'm assuming I probably draw more clientele to my videos who would like this sort of thing than maybe some other videos do, because I stitch some detailed things. So there's probably people who watch me that like the detailed stuff too. So you're all coming out of the woodwork and saying you're interested. So that's really fun to see. But I'll leave that open for one more week and draw that on Tuesday, the 15th. So until then, I will probably have one day next week of stitching on the new challenges before I can share them with you, but that's just the way it's going to have to be every once in a while. I won't be able to film right on Monday. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy your stitching, and however that's going for you. If you're on Team Magic Kingdom, woohoo! Go us! And until then, happy stitching! Bye.